those are visuals that are coming in from DD. Prime Minister is releasing these 8 cats into the quarantine enclosure, and he is photographing them himself to perhaps save a memory and have it as a keepsake. They're being done on the occasion of his 72nd birthday, and it's been about 70 years since these cheetahs have also been hosted in our country. And they're hardy cats, so all signs point to the fact that they should be flourishing there. And if all goes as planned, then we can even see India host 24 cheetahs in just the Kuno National Park, and that's the Prime Minister there at the Kuno National Park. Just earlier, Jyotiraditya Scindia had accompanied those big cats all the way there, and as you saw, he has released these big cats into their quarantine enclosures. It's a big push for wildlife diversity in India, and also very significant because it's the first intercontinental translocation of big cats or any species in such a manner, with no parallels at all in the world so far. And as I was telling you, the good news is that these are very hardy species, and as long as we make sure that the environment is not encroached upon and we do everything that is conducive for their survival in our country, then there is no reason why they shouldn't flourish and make it their home. And the Prime Minister there on your screens, he personally oversaw the opening of these cheetahs into their quarantine enclosures. They will be kept there for the next 4 to 6 weeks, following which they'll be released into the Kuno National Park. It has an area of about 750 kilometers, so they do have quite some area to wander around. And everybody knows, and especially kids know, that cheetah is the fastest animal on land. It can rival even a sports car. So it is a very symbolic move as well, the fact that these cats are being hosted in our country, and the Prime Minister there photographing them himself. We do know he's a DSLR enthusiast, and he's taken out his camera for this special occasion. There are going to be 8 cheetahs in all, and he's released these cheetahs right now. And the next item on his schedule is addressing self-help groups, women of self-help groups, and he will be doing that very shortly, we expect. But those visuals on your screen of the cheetahs that have arrived in India, they're looking extremely curious. As you can see, 8 of them, just big cats, and very similar, in fact, to the cats that you see around you. They're very similar in their DNA to those. So just big cats, playful, curious, and after coming back to the country after 70 years, we'll have to see how well they can acclimatize. But the weather in the Kuno National Park and the other factors in the Kuno National Park seem to be their best bet, because a survey was done of about 10 spots, and this is the one that was chosen, and the Prime Minister chose to release them on his 72nd birthday. This is also to mark 75 years of India's independence, where there's a big push for the diversity of flora and fauna. And now with us welcoming these big cats, of course there is going to be an endeavor to try and maintain their natural habitat, not encroach upon it, and also expand the green cover there. Going across to my colleague Arun Dhanta, who joins us from the Kuno National Park. Arun, there on our screens, we have the Prime Minister releasing these cats. He's overseeing the releasing of these cats, and he's also taking pictures there very enthusiastically to mark the occasion. What else do you see around you?
Well, that's right. That's right. Prime Minister Modi has released these cheetahs, and their presence is on Indian soil is now official. Kuno National Park is a special enclosure which has been created for these cheetahs to be kept them there for at least 4 to 6 weeks to see how they react to this new conditions of India. Prime Minister Modi, in fact, clicking the photograph of these cheetahs' entry and the presence on the soil of this country. So it is very, very significant and very, very historic that we have the reintroduction of the cheetahs in the country after a gap of 7 decades, after a gap of 70 years. It was 1952 when these this species was declared distinct in the country, of course, by the massive massive killings by the people, and various efforts were made in the past to bring the cheetahs back to the country, reintroduce them in the country, but they did not augur the desired results. Even in 1971, a deal was set to done with Iran, but that did not happen due to the change of the guard there in the country. Now this time around, there were court huddles around. Supreme Court only in 2020 gave that go ahead for this pilot project, the pilot program with Namibia, after which Government of India had started the procedure, the initiative to take forward the deal and the pact with Namibia. Our officials visited Namibia, talks held. Their officials came to India. Survey happened on various parts of the country on different scale, and then it was found out that Kuno National Park is very much suitable for the relocation and the reintroduction of cheetahs on the soil of India. And this is just the beginning. That's what we are told by the government sources. They are also planning to have such pacts and MOUs in the future as well, where they will get the opportunity to increase the numbers of cheetahs in the country. So this is very, very significant and very historic. Prime Minister Modi himself reaching in the Kuno National Park, releasing these mammals. And of course, they have come through after a journey of 11 hours, more than 85,000 kilometers, 8,500 kilometers, which they traveled to, and they were kept empty stomach in this entire period. And of course, very strategically, they were brought in the country at that point in time when the temperature was conducive in the night time. So everything was managed in a proper way, and now we are seeing that these big cats are on the Indian soil, and everyone is expecting that their strength will grow by the time. And of course, it is going to be a massive boost for the tourism as well in Madhya Pradesh. So it is a very special moment, not only for the people of Shivpur or people of Madhya Pradesh, but for the country as well, because we have been missing this mammal, this big cat, for last 70 years. This time around, reintroduction of cheetahs have happened in the country, and people are expecting the numbers to grow in coming few years.
Rightly said, Arun, the fact that Shivpur does have the kind of space to host these big cats. In fact, cheetahs can roam around 3,000 square kilometers, but they are in this small quarantine enclosure only to make sure that they acclimatize in our country, because it's been about 70 years since they've been making it their home. So the fact that they've traveled all the way from Namibia to India, they will also take some time to get used to it. But once they do manage to acclimatize successfully, and experts believe that they definitely should be, because Kuno National Park is, out of all the places surveyed, the most conducive to their well-being and survival. They'll be released into the national park, the Kuno National Park, which has 750 square kilometers. And after that, there are also about 3,000 square kilometers in wildlife spaces and forest areas in Shivpur, where they can definitely thrive following their successful reintroduction into the Kuno National Park.